Good afternoon, y'all. We hope you and your loved ones are safe during these unprecedented times. We are Farm2Can, and we conceptualize a system that links farms, canneries, and food banks to dramatically increase local processed food donations in response to COVID-19.
When the first shelter-in-place orders went into effect, people began stocking up and we started ordering everything online. But what about people that can't afford a delivery service? What about those that don't even have a roof over their heads? Food demand has been one of the areas most adversely impacted by this pandemic. The background on screen is a small glimpse into the reality that many Americans are facing every day. With unemployed populations rising by as much as 300%, food demands are threatening to overrun current supply, causing widespread shortages among food banks. Farmers are also suffering as restaurants' demand decreases. This generates a surplus that is going to waste since food banks are lacking the transportation and storage for that much fresh food.
With the need identified, we started brainstorming solutions that could potentially link these two aspects of food supply. Potential solutions range from purchasing freezers for storage to creating an interface to connect farms and food banks. We determined the ideal solution would address both farmers and food banks. Consulting farms and food banks to discuss these ideas led to our final proposal, which was a combination of many of these concepts.
So, what actually is our solution? We conceptualized a pathway that links farms with food banks to help alleviate overwhelming demands. In this system, surplus food from participating farms is transported to local canneries, where it can be processed to increase shelf life and reduce shipping and storage costs. This food is then donated to food banks to help meet community needs. There are barriers to implementing this system, such as labor costs for processing and transportation. However, starting a model system within a community only necessitates a farm food surplus, sale of said surplus, and access to food processing plants. Setting up such a program can be accomplished relatively quickly as well, and several orgs such as the USDA itself have dedicated funding to similar objectives. The big question is, how do we fund all of this? The initial prize money from the sprint can contribute to overcoming barriers to implementation, like arranging transport and paying canneries to process the food. Demonstrating the service works can provide credence for a fundraising campaign to obtain more corporate sponsors for the nonprofit work. Implementing this system now can also allow it to grow on a national stage and establish a permanent link between farms and food banks many years into the future. In a pre-COVID world, food banks got most of their processed foods through donations from food retailers and Good Samaritans. In a post-COVID world, we need to do better than that. A direct link to a solid food source could keep food banks afloat in times like these when too many people nationwide are struggling to put food on the table. Thank you.